gosh, this is so exciting. We're recording, we're live, we're streaming, and you're here for Shanda On Demand. But I am not Shanda Sumter, as I'm sure you can tell. Look, where's my blonde hair? No, I am Sara Cannell. I am a very grateful and honored client of Shanda's in her 1% Club. And Shanda invited me to come on while she is facilitating the List Power training today to train you in part 2 of our 2-part series on how to use a revenue generating best-selling book to open doors, book you speaking engagements, get you more visibility in your industry, and make more money, right? This is so exciting. And I am deeply passionate about this subject because the 2 things I shared yesterday, everything turned around in my mission, in my calling, in my business, in my purpose, in my income, when 2 things came together. The first is that I published my first best-selling book. And the second is that I started working with Shanda and I learned how to build a list and build my business. And I went from struggling to make $20,000 a year as a purpose-driven coach, right? Say me in the comments or chat. If that's been you, you know, we talked about this yesterday. You know that you are here for a purpose, with a purpose, on purpose. You're doing the work you were put on this planet to do, but you haven't cracked the money piece. You haven't cracked the income piece. You haven't cracked the impact, finding all the people you're here to serve and making that transformation happen for them. If that's you, yeah, I get it. And that was me when I started coaching with Shanda. And I now run a multi-million-dollar a year business. I make more in a week than I used to make in more than a year. Okay, so I want to share that. And that is about the money. To me, is a reflection of impact. It's a reflection of the helping more people, right? Because the revenue went up because I'm able to serve more people, because I learned how to get out of hiding, to get out of imposter syndrome, to get out of all the stupid, like limiting beliefs that I was carrying around. And that's what we're going to do today. Is I want to excite you and empower and inspire you to think about using a book as a vehicle to 10x your impact and income. That's what I help people do in Thought Leader Academy, which is my business. And I'm so honored to get to train with you and do that with you today. Now, we'll do a little pop quiz. Some of you were on yesterday, but we were early. We were at a different time. There was list power happening. So what I want to ask is, does anyone remember what we did yesterday? Just put like, yeah, we talked about X. I'm going to recap what we did if you weren't on live so that you're not lost. And then we're going to focus on the big training of today, which is generating 6 to 7 figures with a book. It can be done. It can happen for you. Yeah, that's right. We did the framework. We did a book outline framework that can be exactly Isabel Esteban. Awesome. So we did this framework that can make writing a book easy. If you are already a coach that works with people, you got a book. If you have a course, the course can be your book. If you have a signature talk, the signature talk can be your book. If you have a methodology, a practice, you've got pillars, you can turn that into a book. And we did the SSS framework yesterday, which you can go back and watch the recording. All right. That framework alone helped me go from taking years to write a book to writing books in 6 weeks. I help my clients write books in, 6 weeks. Sometimes they want to, really take the leisurely, lazy river and do 3 months. No, but you can write your book in just a couple of weeks or months, very powerfully, very easily. And right now, 100% of our clients who follow our step-by-step method, remember, they finish the books, they publish the books, they hit the bestseller list when they launch, and they use that book to get on bigger stages, to do podcast tours, to get featured in the media, and to generate 6 to 7 figures. All right. So it's really exciting to be here doing this with you today. And every one of you that feels a yes around this, like you feel a calling, like put book in the comments of the chat. If this excites you, you're like, I know there's a message in me that needs to get out to more people. And so if you're feeling that, you get to, all right, that's how we talk here, right? We get to, and I'm going to show you, you're going to use the framework from yesterday. I'll review it quickly. And then I'm going to show you how to generate really major, significant amount of income with it. Because look, let's face it, none of you are here to just write a book as a bucket list. You're here to change lives. And we change lives, we need more people to read the book and engage. So just to review yesterday, you're going to pick a topic that is going to really serve people. It's the topic of your calling, your mission, your purpose. So go ahead if you know what that is and put it in the comments so that we can celebrate you. Are you here to change the world in parenting, nutrition, fitness, mindset, entrepreneurship, spirituality? You are here for a purpose, right? So first we have our topic, right? Like, what are we here to change lives around, right? And then remember, oh yeah, I love it. Kathy's back. She was on fire yesterday. Yeah, I love it. Darlene's here. This is so exciting. So then you're going to use the 3 S's. If you didn't, you can watch the more detailed training yesterday, but just to recap, chapter 1 is your origin story. You are a superhero. You are a shiro or a hero that's here to change lives. And so you're going to share with the reader how you came to be called to this work. Some of you were tapped through trauma to your calling. Some of you were tapped through a revelation that came through you. Some of you went through something hard and figured out a better way to do it. Like it's all sacred. It's all perfect, right? Maybe it's a combo platter, right? So you're going to share your origin story, why you're doing this, why it matters to you. And Darlene's saying she can't hear. Can you hear? Can the rest of you guys hear? All right. Awesome. All right, Darlene, maybe pop in and come back out. So the second S, chapter 2, is the situation and the stakes, right? Like, what you have a personal journey of why you came to do this work and be a leader, but there's a whole situation going on. There's an epidemic in your industry, in your niche that gets to change. So this is the chapter where you give people some statistics, you give people the stakes. What's it going to cost them in a week, a month, a year, at the end of their life if they keep doing what they're doing? Okay, this is tough love. This is powerful enrollment. Chapters 3 through the end of your book are your solution. That's the third S. Story, your story, the situation, and your solution. So that can be your 5 pillars, your 12-week coaching program, your 10 best podcast episodes, your 12 steps to X result. Okay. This book will write itself if you use SSS. It'll happen so quickly. People can't believe it. They come in and coach with me and they're like, what? This was easy. I can't believe it. Right. All right. So you've got the framework. So some of you worked on it last night. Put O if you worked on your outline last night. If you were here yesterday and you were like, I kind of thought about my book, or I wrote a few notes down, or I was thinking about that. Okay. So to celebrate you, S, I know Esteban did it because he's a freaking rock star. Yes. You got your book title, Kathy, Conceive with Confidence. Oh my gosh, that's good. I love alliteration. Yes. Mastering Sugar for Peak Fertility. Kathy, I went through 8 rounds of IVF to have my son. And had stillborn twins, miscarriages. I can't tell you how, if I'd had a guide, there was just not a lot of good love, for fertility at that. So thank you. Thank you for writing this book. Thank you so much. Yes, Darlene, you worked on your book. Woo! You guys are the best. Okay. So who's ready to learn how to make money? Put a money sign in the chat, or maybe a whole row of money signs if you're ready to monetize your mission through your book. Yeah. Okay. So here is what I'm going to show you. The old model. Okay. When I first got an agent, traditional publisher, did that whole thing with my first book. The old model was, you tell a great story and hope people kind of find you online and look you up and want to work with you. And sometimes that happens, right? I absolutely did attract clients, through that model. However, there is a much more strategic, intentional, conscious way to attract clients, the right clients, the clients you love, the clients that love to work with you, that are excited to work with you and generate revenue through your book. And I'm going to show you my favorite way to do that today. Shanda's like, give one specific way, that we can do this. Okay. So I had a client come to me a few years ago and she said, Sara, I don't even want people to finish reading my book. And I thought, what? Because I'm a book nerd. I love books, save my life. I'm obsessed with books. I thought, what do you mean you don't want someone to finish reading? She said, I want someone to put that book down halfway through and say, my God, I have to hire this woman. And just contact me directly. And I said, yes, I love that. I, of course, want to make the book really great for you all so people finish reading it too. But here's the deal. Don't we all want that? We want someone to feel so excited by the vision and the solution that we're giving them that they know that they got to come do the work with us, right? Put me in the chat if that is true for you. Like you just love the idea of someone getting so freaking excited. You know, they're listening to your audiobook or they're reading the words and they're like, I got to work with Esteban. I got to work with Darlene. I got to work with Kathy, with Isabel, with Darshana. Okay. So the way to do this is that we want to move the reader from a passive person, right? I'm just reading a book or listening to the book, to an active lead, you know, to an active potential client. How do we do that? What we do by chapter 2 in the book is we want to create an invitation, create an experience with your reader where they want to take an action. Okay. So this is direct response marketing embedded in a book. What does that look like? I'll use the example Profit First that I used yesterday, Mike Michalowicz's New York Times bestselling book. And what he does is, again, first S, he tells his story. I was an entrepreneur, I was making money, I was keeping none of it. I was totally effed. My marriage was suffering. I never saw my kids. It was awful. In the second chapter, he says, and look, I'm not some loser who can't figure out entrepreneurship. 90% of entrepreneurs have no profitability. They make money, they don't keep it. This is a rampant problem, right? And right there, right up front, early in his book, he does something brilliant. He embeds a quiz, an assessment. And he says, look, if you want to figure out your profitability score, you can take this quiz. Like I'll put the questions in the book, you can take it yourself. But if you want me to give you a customized analysis and a next step to help you break the cycle and get profitable, click here, right? Go to this website. And I'm going to guess, I certainly, as a reader of Mike Michalowicz's book, who was an entrepreneur making lots more money and keeping none of it at the time, I absolutely took him up on it. So guess what people get to do when they want to take that quiz? Put it in the chat. What do we know we do? Because we train with Shanda. They put their name and their email to take the free. It's completely free, right? But now we don't have a reader. We have a relationship. When someone reads our book, we have no access to them. We can't like stalk them on Amazon and say who bought my book and then go message them, right? But when someone gives their name and email to take our assessment or our quiz, then bless you, we have a relationship. We can nurture someone. We can reach out. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of techniques at the end of the training today. And then those of you in the VIP Zoom room, we're going to do some actual like little workshopping of this for your books. Okay. So this is super exciting. So by opting in with their name and email, you now have a relationship. You can contact, you can love on them, you can support them, you can invite them to go further with you. You're giving them something high value. So the strategy here is that at least once in your book, I would recommend multiple times, you're going to give people the opportunity to take an action that's going to be valuable to them. Quizzes and assessments are great. Recipes, if you're in the, nutrition or fitness world, it's like you describe some awesome smoothie that you're making for a client in the gym and you say, oh, click here and you can download like the recipe and the photo and the, best of the, which, juicer to use or whatever. Right. So it's not like, we're not doing this to be salesy. We are providing value, and we're providing such a high value that people want to stop reading and go and get this resource, right? You can do a template. Like, let's say you're someone who helps people figure something out. You can have a write-inable PDF that they can click and use to tabulate something. Do you know one that converted really, really well in my talks that's now going in my new book that's coming out on October 1st? I help people, as you know, write best-selling books, get on stages, get in the media. And one of the barriers, okay, this is going to show you how you're going to figure out your cool resource. One of the barriers to this is that people feel overwhelmed at like how to pitch themselves for speaking. Like, well, what's going to make the podcast host want to book me? What's going to make me put speak in the chat if you want to speak in more places, virtually, podcast stages, but it feels maybe intimidating to how do you position yourself so someone is like, oh my God, I have to have you on the show. So I have this 6-step template that has booked our clients thousands of speaking engagements, people making 20K per talk, people getting on top podcasts, people. So I have this 6-part template and I put that in my new book, right? I put that in my new book because I want to make sure that the people that read the book get on stages. I want the book to be valuable to them. But what do they do to get the template? put in their name and email, right? And then they automatically get it in their email box. And I know, Esteban, I told Shannon I would give you guys a different gift, but I will make sure anybody that wants that, I will tell you how to get that. I will totally, because the book comes out in like less than a month. Of course, I'll give that to you guys. I'll give you 2 gifts. All right. So here's the deal. Like, do you think if you were a reader and you're someone that wants to book stages, put yes, if you think you would take the time to just quickly put your name and email and get that template delivered, because it really has booked people thousands. I mean, there's been $1 million created off that template. I've made over $1 million speaking using that template, you know? So it's like, yes, it's like, so here's the even better part. We'll brainstorm some more strategies, and I'm going to give you guys the entire roadmap to your best-selling book. It's 7 steps to generate a revenue generating best-selling book in as little as 3 months, even if you've never written a book before. Okay. I'm going to gift that to you all today. I told Shanda, I'm pulling that out. People pay me like $3,000 for it. I'm gifting it to you all today in Zoom. You guys in Zoom, you got to be in VIP. You got to get in mention. You got to get in Shanda's mastermind. Okay. So I will put the link, or if you already have it, Megan, you can share it. But I think if you don't have it, I'll pop it in here in a minute. But I want to show you something really cool that upped our clients and my conversions from books by over 50%. And that is, instead of telling people while they're reading, go to www.saracannell.com, right? Instead of doing that, what we do is just pop in a QR code right here in the book. Okay. If it's the audiobook, you just put it, you know, in the little like notes that go with the audiobook. But right here in this is my book came out last year, The Science of Getting Rich for Women. All right. And it's because women lost $800 billion in the pandemic. So unacceptable. So this is a comeback book for women in money. And I wanted to make all my meditations, all the guided resources, all the templates, all the visualizations. I wanted to make it available. So I put a QR code in the book every time there was a guided exercise. And everybody who reads it just has to go there once. And they got into this whole book portal. I don't think I can share my screen easily on all the platforms, but you guys in Zoom, I'll show you when we go after hours, and I'll show you the book portal because it's so easy to do. And we've had people just binge it. They see the book, they start reading the book, they do the QR code, they go to the portal, they binge all the stuff on the portal. There's a workbook and interviews and guided things and playlists. And guess what happens? They call me up. And they say, how can I join Thought Leader Academy? Because I want to do a book like this. I want to get on stages. I want to be in the media. I want to generate $1 million with thought leadership, right? So it's not even a sales call, right? So remember we said we want people while they're still reading to want to work through. Why do they feel so connected? Because they've heard your story. They've read your methodology. They're already excited about your process. They're already like, I'm all in. And so the book is your salesperson. The book is your sales force. It's not even a person, it's a force, right? Because you can have your book through the audiobook, you know, ebook, hardcover, software, wherever you want it going out. And I would love to be with you guys. I do 3-day trainings on the book, right? We could talk about so much stuff, but today what we're here for is to focus on generating revenue with your book. And the number one way you're going to do that is don't wait for your reader to figure out where you are online and find a website. You create a high value, high impact, interactive resource that they want because it's going to help them, and then let them give their name, email, maybe their cell phone number. And then you can go high touch. You could have someone on your team or yourself, if you're just starting out, and every single person that goes through that QR code and opts in, you direct message them. You phone them, you give them a text and say, I'm so excited that you're doing this work. I would love to make sure that you get everything that you deserve out of this book, out of this resource. Do you want to jump on a call with me for 15 minutes? My team is here to chat with you for, a strategy session. It's our gift to you. When my team does this, they do not sell on that first call, right? They're just there to pour love and serve. Who is this person? What's their dream? Can we help them? If we think we can help them further and help them write their book, get on stages, do all the things. We say, we think you'd be a great fit for Thought Leader Academy. Do you want to hear about that? And then we can have that conversation. Right? So that's the high touch. Low touch, you can automate the whole darn thing. They go to the QR code, they go to your resource, they go to your portal, they get an email sequence, they get loved up, they get little, pre-recorded messages and emails and videos from you. And then you have a link to your course, a link to your retreat, a link to your event, a link to your coaching program. This can cut your sales time into a fraction or zero of what it was. So I want to hear what's landing for people. Those of you that are here in Zoom, like just in the chat, what feels exciting here to you? And I'm going to grab you that link right now, just so that I have it. This is going to be so cool because you'll have the whole workbook to go through everything I talked about yesterday, everything I talked about today. It even gives you step-by-step examples how to figure out what your interactive resource is, which is really fun. So let me get this for you while we put in the chat what's landing here. What do you feel excited by? And let me just make sure I give you the right one. Make sure that this goes to the right place. Here we go. Awesome. All right. So I'm getting this here. And then, Megan, if you want that too, to give out for the replay or anything, feel free to share everything. Yeah. I love that. Esteban is saying what's resonating for him is hooking the reader up, and the strategy call is pouring high value love. Yeah. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. I just want to know you all. I mean, if I had time, I would sit with every one of you on a call today and say, like, what's the vision? What's your calling? Who are you here to serve? We'd start strategizing that. Yeah, it's so powerful. And when people read your story, that's why the first S in your book, in the outline we did yesterday, it's like, we got to feel, we want to feel like Esteban's been where we're like, now he's ripped, he's gonna, machine, he's going to train us and hold us accountable. But like, has Esteban struggled? He probably has, right? Yeah. I know Esteban a little, so I know he has, right? And he's been through some stuff. Okay. Put stuff in the chat. I'm not allowed to swear. This is Shanda. She keeps it cleaner than I do. I swear on, if you come over to Thought Leader Academy, you're going to hear some other words occasionally, but, cause it's fun, but you know what I mean? It's like, we've been through some stuff. And our reader wants to know, the 4 most important words. This was a study done. The 4 most important words in any language in the study came back as this: you are not alone. The beginning of the book is there to let people know they are not alone. I'm just thinking, Kathy, you're writing about fertility. I felt so broken. I felt defective. My body wasn't doing what it's meant to do. I had all this trauma, right? And I felt alone. Everyone I knew was pregnant. Like, oh, I fell down the stairs and got pregnant. I, had 3 glasses of wine and got, meanwhile, I'm like, 5 years in, so, what do people feel alone in their pain? And you're their guide, you're their lighthouse. I read this fabulous quote this weekend. Your book lets you be a light so bright that people find the way out of the dark by it. That's what being an author is. That's what's being courageous enough to share your story and put it down here and record it and let people hear it. Your light is so bright that other people find their way out of the dark by the radiance of your message, of your consciousness, of your love. I mean, it just makes me cry. Yesterday I shared how I was in a really, really dark place, really spiraling in a mental and physical health crisis. And I found a book. And because of that one book, I didn't die. I mean, it's that real for me, right? So if you're feeling something, if this is stirring something in you, if there's something coming up in you and you're just like, oh, there is a greater stage for me, there's a bigger story for me, then I truly pray that you are going to, that you're going to download this map and do this work so that you can bring that forth for that person who's, on the bathroom floor, they're in their therapist's office, they're at church, they're praying right now because they need their miracle. And even though there's so many great books, right? There's so many wonderful books that are out there. No one's going to say it like you. No one is going to say it like you. And I did tell Megan that I'm going to get you all that template for the 6-step. I need to get that from my team, Megan. So I'm going to make sure that you guys get that and get to share it with the VIPs here. Okay. So I think it's time that we are going to go only into VIP room. And so those of you streaming, I'm so honored to be with you. I please let me know how I can support you and help you. This to me is a mission of changing and saving lives. Writing your book is a way to truly change the trajectory of our planet and change the lives of the people you're here to serve. And I just deeply desire that if this resonates for you, that you're going to go for it. And I'm here for you. You know where to find me. I'm here. I'm in Shanda's 1% Club, and I'm here to serve you all. So absolutely go for it. Use the workbook and take the steps. And I'm here for you if you need it. All right. In the Zoom room, VIPs, mastermind, we're going to continue and we're going to do some workshopping of your book ideas. So excited.